Hi, I've made this small video to demonstrate how to imitate Leonardo da Vinci's left hand hatching, because I've seen in the comments section that some of you are interested to see if this thing is possible if you're right-handed. So this is a video as an answer to your questions. Let's talk about the reference image. I've choose this image. I found it on online, and it's an image after a printed book containing some of the members of the Sforza family, which was a very powerful from the ruling class family from the 15th century, 16th century, and this guy was called Galeazzo Maria Sforza, and he was the first son of Francesco Sforza. Very interesting character and a very tough guy. But also the other reason why I've choose this image is because it's kind of his face, the profile view, kind of inspired me to try to develop it into a more like a Leonardesque drawing. Maybe because of the type of the face, with the long nose, with those droopy eyes, and face of shape of the face, lips, and shape of the chin, and so on. So as usual, as you can see in my the first video actually, I start by doing a rough shape, an egg shape for the face and head, and continuing with a cylinder for the neck. Now I'm drawing the profile, and I was not fully satisfied with the reference image. I was thinking, let's invent some just a little bit different angles, not quite different, not drastically different, but to give it more like a personal feeling to it. And after I do the general shape of the head and a more precise contour for the profile, I will just start to do some details, and you'll see immediately the answer to your questions. There it is. So you can do 45 degrees hatching with the left hand, with the left hand view, left hand aspect, by just rotating the actual paper. You can see me now how I'm rotating. So it's the same gesture I do if I'll do a right hand hatching. It's the same gesture. It's a right hand hatching. But if you rotate it and you put it vertically, as you would see it by default, you'll see a left hand hatching. But the most tricky part, and the part that I found it at least tricky, is the let's say the part where you need to really know where to stop with hatching. I mean, you must have a vision on how the volumes are even rotated, are located, and for this you can make some barely visible marks, like small contours for the shape of the shades of the shading areas. So this way you will have a better control when you rotate the image, because otherwise you'll get messy and you'll shade everything and you'll go over the lighted areas and you'll get a total mess. Even if you're analyzing Leonardo da Vinci's drawing style, at least this one with hatching, not the charcoal ones, you'll see that we call it generally a 45 degrees hatching, but it's in fact it's not quite 45 degrees. Some hatching, some strokes are more like a closed angle. Maybe some are more like more opened angle, and they are not all of them, they are not 45 degrees, but we call it generally 45 degrees angle hatching. You'll see me now that I'm feeling that some of the side parts of the face need more shadows, because looking at the original I'm feeling that in that light conditions the zygomatic bone and all the volumes there needs to be more refined. This is probably one of the reasons why we don't see all the shapes perfectly described here, is because of the media. I mean, this is quite, I'm sure it was an engraving, and as you know, the engravers were quite limited with their materials, because they need to actually scratch a surface, which was, they were not drawing on paper, they were actually scratching the surface of a metal, like copper and so on. So all the shading needs to be let's say refined according to the material they were using. So some of the things were lost from the original drawing, because I think even the engraver had a sketch or something. But what I'm trying to say is that the pencil and the metal point is much more subtle than let's say the scratching material we are used to see on the engravings, and you get a larger range of grays and tones and soft gradations. You can see me now doing on the cheekbone and the side part of the face. So you see, I'm not slavishly copying what I'm seeing. I'm trying to make some interpretations to feel the forms where are located, where I need more shadow, where the nose doesn't feel, for example, in the reference image, the nose doesn't feel that belongs to that face. I mean, the side plane of the nose, where it meets with the eyeball, there's a very, very, very crude, let's say, rendering of that area, because where I'm not sure, but this is, the eye doesn't catch that much shadow in these conditions. It catches shadows, but not in these conditions, not in these lighting conditions. So I felt that there's a little bit too much shade there underneath the upper eyelid. So yes, rotating the paper as much as I need for the hatching, and you can see that it's very convincing, looks very convincing that this is a left-hand hatching. It's not, what I wanted to point out is that it's not the left-hand hatching the main reason why an art expert or an expert, for example here in Leonardo, it's not the main reason why they are convinced that a certain drawing belongs to Leonardo. There are many other reasons why some art experts authenticate particular drawings and so on, because we have to be careful to look at all the points, all the strong points that Leonardo had, and compare it with the drawing we have in front of our eyes. So for example, Leonardo, if you're looking closer to a drawing by him, you'll see that he has a lot of changes, a lot of the Italian call it pentimenti. You'll not see the perfect contour. Well, you'll see it from the distance, but if you look closer at a microscope of magnifying glass, you'll see that there are 3 noses instead of 1, because he was not satisfied with the first contour, then he made another one, but no pressure on the stylus or the metal point or whatever tool he had on his hands. So that's why we see an unusual, almost incredible freedom in his line and expression. That's why Leonardo is Leonardo, and none of the copyists could do those pentimenti, because Leonardo did it from his knowledge and from his experience. It's easy to copy. It's very hard to really invent some things and to copy from nature, which Leonardo did. So there are many reasons why a Leonardo is a Leonardo. So, and this is not the only reason. So I've done this just to demonstrate that it is possible with modern tools and modern hand. But this is just to learn and not to try to fool the experts and to pretend that this is Leonardo original and so on. This is just to show that we can do it if we study it and we are consistent every day, and that's why we are here. I hope this video answered to your questions about how Leonardo developed his drawings, and I hope in the near future I will do some more videos, maybe other masters like Michelangelo and all the heavyweights of the Renaissance era, doing some small adjustments. You can see that I prefer to use the accents at the very end of the drawing session, because this is what I've learned from Leonardo. Everything is smooth, everything is sfumato, everything is delicate, and this is another strong point of a drawing being a Leonardo. And I've tried to learn from him as much as I could. So thank you very much, guys, and see you next time. Bye.